What's poppin' YouTube? Justin here again. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to turn any photo into an animation like this. So I was able to achieve this look by using a mixture of Photoshop, After Effects, and Premiere Pro. Let's jump right into it and I'll show you how I made this happen. Okay, so once you're happy with the photo you've edited, you're gonna wanna open it up in Photoshop. Okay, so what we're gonna do inside of Photoshop is basically break the photo up into 3 parts roughly. It's gonna be the foreground, which is the crowd. It's going to be the main subject, which is Travis Scott in this instance, and then the background. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna wanna do is go up and click the pen tool, and we're gonna make an outline of Travis Scott's body, just so we can remove that from the rest of the image first. So just click and drag to outline with the pen tool. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the better you do here, the better the end result will look. So take your time and try and get a good outline. Okay, so I'm just gonna speed up all of this outlining because it does take a while, but for sake of showing you how to do it, I'm just gonna speed it up. Okay, now that we have the subject completely outlined with the pen tool, you're gonna wanna unlock the layer that it's on and then right click the image and hit make selection. This is gonna bring up an options box for your feather radius. I usually leave it around 1. You can go anywhere from 1 to 5. It'll just make sure that the edge is a little more refined or not. So yeah, let's just leave it around 1. Hit OK. Okay, so now that you have your subject selected, we're gonna hit Command X, which is gonna cut your selection out from the rest of the photo. So you'll notice that the shape of Travis Scott is missing now. And then you're gonna wanna go down to the New Layer tab in the bottom right-hand corner and make a new layer. And we're gonna paste what we just cut out onto that layer. This is just gonna separate Travis Scott from the rest of the photo. So you'll see that if I click the hide icon and toggle between it, he'll appear and disappear. Okay, now that we have our subject on its own layer, we're gonna wanna go up to Select, Modify, and then Expand. So we're gonna expand by 20 pixels roughly. This is just gonna give a bit of leeway on what's selected, so it's gonna be a bit of an edge around his body. Now with the subject still selected, we're gonna wanna click on the first layer, which will be the background layer at this point. And we're gonna go up to Edit, Fill, and make sure when you're clicking this that you have contents set to content aware. So this is gonna fill in the hole in the background just based off of Photoshop reading the data around the missing spot, and it's gonna fill it in as best it can. It's not perfect, but for what we're doing, it usually works out pretty good. And if you see we toggle the body back on, it looks like the original photo. So now I'm just gonna rename the layers so I know once I bring them into After Effects which is which and I can edit them easier. So now with your background layer selected, we're gonna cut out the foreground this time and basically do the exact same thing as we did with Travis's body, except this time it's just gonna be with the crowd. So again, just cut it out with your pen tool. Again, doesn't have to be perfect, but the better you do, the better the end result. Right click the background again and make sure you hit make selection. Make sure your feather radius is around 1 pixels again. And now we're gonna hit Command X again, which is gonna remove it from the background, create our own new layer. Now we're gonna hit Command V to paste it onto a new layer. Again, with your foreground selected, go up to Select, Modify, and Expand. Set it to 20 pixels or so just to give that sort of outline. And finally, we need to fill in where the crowd originally was on the background layer. So we're gonna select the background layer, go up to Edit, Fill, and make sure Content Aware is selected again, and hit OK. And Photoshop is gonna do its best to fill in what was missing. You'll notice that it didn't do perfect, so I'm gonna clean it up with the spot healing tool quickly. But again, you're not gonna be seeing this for very long, so it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to look like there's not a gaping hole there. So do your best to clean it up, but don't stress on it too hard. Okay, perfect. I'm pretty happy with this, so we're going to move forward. You can see now that we have the foreground, the background, and our main Travis layer on their own layers, so they can be manipulated individually later. I'm just gonna name this layer here Crowd, and now I'm going to save my Photoshop file somewhere that I can find it, because now we're gonna open it up in After Effects. All right, so close up Photoshop. Now we're gonna open up this Photoshop file in After Effects. Just find your PSD file, your Photoshop file. You can just drag it into After Effects. Now it's gonna have this import pop-up box, and you're just going to make sure that the import kind is set to composition, retain layer sizes beside it. So this is gonna take the original dimensions of your Photoshop file and open them up the same in its own composition. So a composition is essentially the same as a sequence if you're familiar with Premiere Pro. It's basically like an envelope that holds a bunch of elements together in one sort of timeline. Okay, so because we're making this for Instagram, I'm going to set the dimensions for Instagram portrait size, so a vertical post, which are 1080 by 1350. The original photo was 1080 by 1920, so we are gonna crop it a little bit, but we'll make sure not to cut off anything important. Now I'm just gonna clean up my project and put everything into folders that are labeled just so it's easier for me to work. Okay, now that we have everything sorted by folders, we're gonna take our original composition that has our 3 Photoshop layers on it and drop it into our main composition. And as you can see, we'll scale it down so it fits the composition. We're gonna hit continuously rasterize to make sure everything's looking sharp. Now we're gonna go back into our 3-layer comp. So the first thing I wanna do is make Travis's body a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna hit S on the keyboard to bring up the scale options for that layer, and then just increase the scale until I feel like it looks nice, keeping in mind that we need to check back and forth between our 2 projects to make sure that he's not getting cropped out on our Instagram version. So we're gonna scale it up, put it in the right position, and then we're gonna hit this little keyframe button on position to make him animate in. So the first keyframe is our starting position. We'll set one there, and then we'll move over about 20 frames, and we're gonna set a new position to make him sort of animate in like this. Now with these keyframes, you're gonna wanna do what's called an ease in and an ease out. This is basically just gonna speed ramp the position keyframe so it starts slow and then gets a little bit faster gradually as it comes in. And now go into your speed graph editor, and you're gonna see sort of a mountain peak there. That's just the speed of your position keyframes. So you're gonna wanna kind of ease them in even more and just sort of speed ramp them. This will just further the sort of gradual increase effect. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now that we have him animating in, we're gonna wanna bring up the scale options, and then we're gonna set 2 keyframes as about 12 seconds apart, and we're gonna gradually make him bigger over the duration of the animation. Okay, now we wanna select the crowd layer, and we're gonna animate the position and the scale of it. Okay, so what you're gonna wanna do is scale up the crowd layer just so it's big enough that we can move it around a bit, and then hit P while that layer is selected to bring up the position properties. And you're gonna wanna drag the crowd all the way to the left of the frame, set your position keyframe, and then move 12 seconds down the timeline. So we're at the end of the animation now, and then you're gonna move the position of the crowd all the way to the right, so it has a smooth motion moving from left to right. So now that we have the Travis layer and the crowd layer animated, we are going to do the same with the background layer. We're gonna set 1 keyframe at the start and 1 at the end, and decrease the scale about 20-25% so the background gradually gets smaller. Now that we have a basic animation that we're happy with, what we're gonna do is open up the position tab on the crowd, and then alt-click the little stopwatch there, which is going to let us do expressions. So expressions is basically like code. So we're gonna use the wiggle effect. So it's gonna pop up automatically, and you'll see 2 brackets there, and basically you're gonna put 2 numbers separated by a comma, and this is gonna be your position coordinates. So it's gonna be a vertical axis and a horizontal axis. So I'm going to put 2,20. So this means it's gonna move 2 pixels in one direction, 20 in the other, but it's gonna be random and constant. So check this out. Now when I play it back, you'll see the crowd is sort of shaking, which gives it a nice realistic effect. And we're gonna do the exact same thing with the other 2 layers. So we're gonna select them, alt-click on the position tab, and right wiggle. And this one, let's do 5 and 10 just to switch it up. Now you'll see Travis himself is shaking as well. Yeah, that looks awesome. So I'm happy with that. Now I just want to double check again in my main composition that nothing's getting cropped off. We got to keep that in mind. Now we're going to get into putting in some text, just because this adds a whole other sort of element to the animation. I'm gonna just take my text tool and write Travis just because it's fitting. This is Travis Scott, so we'll have his name up there. Scale it to the right size that you want, keeping in mind that you don't want to cut off in your main composition, so keep checking back and forth to make sure everything looks good. And once you're happy with the font, we're just gonna drop it behind the Travis layer so it's kind of behind him. And now I want to animate the text in so that the letters come in one by one. So you're going to want to open your options on the text layer and then go over to this little arrow here that says animate. And you're going to want to click position. So this is going to allow you to manipulate the position of each letter individually. So you're going to go down to your range selector, open that there, and just drag your start properties to 100. And then you'll see that there's another position property tab below in the range selector. What you're going to want to do is move your text using that position tab downwards, because that's going to be the starting position for the animation, and then the original position of the text is going to be the ending that we animate it to. So this is going to be basically the starting point of each letter, and where it originally was will be the ending point. And then what you're going to have to do is keyframe the start property of this range selector from 0 to 100. So that's just going to make sure the letters come in one by one, but they fully come in. And now we're just going to add a mask so you can't see exactly where the letters are coming from one by one. So grab your rectangle tool, make sure your text layer is selected, and draw a box around the wording so that anything outside of the box is hidden. Okay, add a little bit of feather there just so it's not such a hard edge. And if we play it back, now you'll see the letters don't appear until they hit that invisible mask there. And then we get a really cool effect. So now you're going to want to play with the blending mode of the text. I usually do either overlay, screen, or multiply. This is just going to sort of make it transparent and a little more textury because you'll see what's going on in the background. I find it just brings the photo together a little bit better, the overall look. Okay, so now I'm noticing that Travis is getting cut off in our Instagram comp. So we're going to readjust that and make sure it fits and everything looks good. Okay, so now that we have the text in order, I'm realizing that I didn't mask out the section between his arm and his head. So you'll notice that you can't see the font there. So what I'm gonna do is go up and click my pen tool and outline that spot there and just sort of delete it, kind of how we did with the photo originally in Photoshop. And this is just going to allow the text to show through as well. Okay, and now you'll notice that it's only showing the hole. I'm just gonna go down to my mask properties and switch it from add to subtract. So this is just going to show what was behind the mask as opposed to showing everything that wasn't. Okay, now I'm just going to take a bunch of sort of texture assets that I have and I think will look really cool over this animation just to add some more texture and life to it. So I'm gonna use some light embers, some dust scratches, and just sort of throw them on top and behind different layers so that they are sandwiched into our animation. And I'm going to mess with the blending mode so they kind of are transparent. So you'll notice I got those embers there set to screen and now they're visible behind Travis, which looks really cool. Okay, now that we have all our elements and the animations done in After Effects, everything looks good. You're gonna wanna export a copy, and then we're gonna take that video into Premiere, and we're gonna do some final tweaks, but we're pretty much there. Okay, so now that you're in Premiere Pro, you're gonna wanna find your export from After Effects and drag and drop it into a new Premiere project, and then drag it into its own sequence by dragging it onto this little new sequence icon right there. And now I'm gonna bring in some film burns. They're basically just flickers and strobe transitions that I like to throw over my animations to kind of give them more of an appealing factor. They'll keep the eyes drawn a lot easier. I use these a lot as transitions in my edits, you may have noticed. You're gonna wanna drag them on top of your footage. Okay, so these are just basically a bunch of film assets that I imported. It's basically 16mm film grain, so it's gonna give my animation a little bit of texture, as well as some strobe transitions I'm gonna throw in there as well. You'll notice I set the blending mode to either screen or overlay for the most part. This just makes it transparent so you can still see what's going on behind in the animation, but as well as making everything seem more cohesive with the texture elements on top. So play around. You don't have to use exactly the same ones I did. Just make sure you mess with your blending mode so that everything is transparent and you can see what's going on, and you just sort of build up layers until you get a look that you're happy with. And finally, I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but I do a bit of sound design on these to add even more of a dynamic element to it. I use some whoosh transitions. Anytime there's movement, I'll use a whoosh transition. I like to add some crowd sound effects in there to give a feel that we're actually at a concert, as well as adding in this instance, I'm gonna add in some music, and I'm gonna use a Travis Scott song because it's only fitting. And finally, I'm going to use these strobe burns that I use as transitions in a lot of my videos just to kind of keep your eye drawn to the animation. Every once in a while, it'll sort of flicker. I'll set the blending mode to exclude for these so it kind of inverts the colors, but it is still transparent so you can see what's going on. And once you're happy with the overall look and aesthetic, you're gonna wanna export from Premiere and you finally have your final animation that looks like this. That's about it for the video today. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments below. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoy the content. Share the video. I'd really appreciate it. And until next time, peace.